Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel, CeeLo's Fishing. Happy to have you here, guys. I hope you guys had a good Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. It is 2024 now, and I thought, you know what? I might as well drop this next video. The last one was on how to clean a bait caster reel. This one's going to be on how to maintain your spinning reels. But like I said, this is around the time I normally do it to all of my reels, so this is why I decided to make this video on this spinning reel here. And then my next video is going to be on how to actually use one of these. These are fairly simple to use, but let's start with the maintenance of them. Anyways, let's get right into it. All right, guys, we're going to talk about your reel components. You have your reel here. This is your spool, your bail right here. This is your drag wheel right here, this top little piece here. You have this. A lot of people think this is to just let some line out, but this is more of a manual drag system, to where when you're reeling that fish in, obviously it's going to come in, and then if you feel like the fish is going to pull a little too hard, you can actually give it line manually like this. That's what it's actually for. But basically, I don't really like to use that manual one. I like to use the reel itself, and I set the drag on the top, and that's how I use it. So that's how I set my stuff. The handle itself, I am weird. I reel in on my right side for some weird reason. I think it's just because I use a lot of bait casters. But you can undo this knob here on this side and actually flip it, which I will show you how to do that in a little while I'm cleaning it. But this is just how I do it. And then you have the reel base itself. That's pretty much the components of a spinning reel. Next, we will actually break this thing down and get to the cleaning part of it. All right, guys, so first things first, I'm just gonna undo my drag system up here. Just gonna twist it all the way off, and that should let you just pull the spool right up. So then you'll have your spool itself, your drag knob there, and then you just want to undo the screw on the side down here for your handle. So that's your side handle knob screw, and then this should just pull straight out like that. There's your knob. This is pretty much as far as I go. Some people like to take this off. And to take that off, you basically want to turn your handle to where it's up like that, and then you should be able to just pull this straight off. I don't really do that, honestly. I don't see a point in that, but a lot of people do end up taking that off. There is a bearing right here. There's like a little bearing in here that you can actually feel it turn. But I don't ever take that off. The only other thing that I will undo towards the end of the cleaning process is I will actually loosen the screw here where this bearing is at. There's a bearing on the inside of this piece here where that line rolls across this silver piece there. So I always undo this little screw here to get to the bearing that's inside there and add some oil to it. So now that I have it broken down, we're actually going to clean it. Obviously, first things first, you want to clean the whole big reel, main reel itself. And what I do is I'm going to be using the same products as the last time, and then I'll link them on this video as well. You got the speed cleaner, you got the oil, and you have the grease. So again, I have a napkin. Like I said, I don't like to really spray this stuff on the reel. You can if you want to. I'll just kind of show you guys how that works. You just spray it on the reel. And you're just gonna take your napkin, guys. And with the napkin, you're pretty much gonna wipe down, or try to wipe down, every single part of it. So let me get this wiped down all the way, and then we will continue with everything else. But basically what you want to do, the body, obviously nothing crazy, right? You just want to wipe it down, try to get rid of some of that grime and gunk off of it. There's always going to be stuff that accumulates down here on this piece here, as you can tell. So you definitely want to get like the bottom part of this where your spool sits. If for some reason you have line, sometimes your line will wrap around on this piece here. You can take that off, or sometimes you'll find your line wrapped up pretty much all in here, so you can just undo your line. But I do the same thing on the stem here. I just get it nice and cleaned up. This should be oiled and greased and stuff like that, so don't worry about it. Just clean it up really good. That's pretty much what you want to do. Just try to get the body really good. You can use Q-tips. I'm not going to use any. Alright guys, now that I have it completely wiped down, you can spin this around. If you're gonna be able to see, the stem goes up and down right there. You just want to get it to the highest point, which would be like right there for mine. I'll wipe down a little bit of this. All I do is really try to get this stem really clean. This is your drag stack, like I said. You can pull it off. I don't pull mine off. I just leave it on there. It's got little bearings. Just clean it off really good. Wipe off all the grease, oil, and stuff like that. And then really, the only actual thing I use is the clean spray, and then a lot of it is just oil afterwards. So you're gonna want to apply a little bit of oil on the stack itself right here. There's a little bit on the bearings. So that's what I apply there, and then I just give this a couple of spins to work that oil up inside of here. That right there goes a very long way, guys. Just a little bit of oil. The grease, you can use it inside of the gears, but for that, you have to take it all apart. I don't really ever take mine apart to grease the gears. All I do is mainly oil it, but I will show you guys that that's why I have the grease. The only time I'll try to grease it is in case like I dunk this reel in water for some reason a couple times and it just starts sounding really nasty. First I'll clean it like this, and if that doesn't get rid of the grinding noise or anything like that, then I will take it apart, clean the grease off of the gears in here, and then I will apply more grease to them. So that's where I'm gonna put oil there, guys. The other spot you wanna put oil is going to be right here. There's a bearing inside of this, where the pretty much the handle goes, and then right here. So that's what I do with this component here. And then you will also, if you notice, you have your roller here, and on this side you don't. What I like to do is I like to put a little bit of oil up in here on the side that doesn't have the roller, because we're gonna take the roller side apart. And I just open and close my bell a couple times to get that oil worked up in here, like that. Now we're gonna take apart the roller, guys, because there is a bearing on the inside of that, and if you just were to put it on here, it doesn't really get to the bearing. So what I do is you're just gonna take your screwdriver, you wanna hold it kind of tight because there's a lot of components that go in here, and loosen that up. Once you get it loose, you pull that little screw out. Don't lose the stuff, guys. And you wanna hold it like this and kind of pull it apart like this, guys. And then that will give you access to the stuff that's on the roller. And so down in here you have a little bearing that you can choose to add some of this grease to, some of this oil to it, right up in there. And then in here itself, there is a bearing on the inside of this roller. If that focuses, there's a little bearing in there that you will want to apply. Oh, there it goes. It actually fell out. I try not to have them fall out, but just go ahead and try to add some of that oil on there like that, guys. And what you're gonna want to do is reverse order, put it right back where it goes, line it back up. A lot of them you'll feel it kind of sit back in place. And then you're gonna want to take the screw that you just took out and simply make sure it's aligned, guys. You don't want to like strip the screw or anything. Just work it down in there again, guys. You don't want to go crazy and like crazy crank it. Just tighten it down enough to where when you're out fishing, it's not just gonna fly out. Just make sure they're tight, but not like insanely tight, guys. You just want to make sure that your screws you're not gonna be losing parts while you're out on the water fishing. So you want to work this a little bit more. You can add some on this side as well. Like I said, we did grease the bearing in there, so that's gonna allow that line to roll a little bit easier. And there's that, guys. That is that one. The other stuff I do for everything else is I literally wipe down all of my other items. So like the handle itself, I will wipe it down the same way. You can spray it down, wipe everything off. Wipe down the shaft of it. Now on the handle itself, what you can do is you can apply a little bit of oil on this piece here, kind of like we did on our bait casting reel. That'll keep this little thumb holder grip here nice and lubricated, nice and loose. A lot of people add oil to this. This is the only other exception. I will put just a little bit of this grease on this handle, guys. Just like that. I don't like to oil this part of the handle for some reason. And then we will reinsert this, guys. Like I said, I'm a righty. I put mine on the right side. Like that. And then if you were a lefty, you can pull it out, turn it around, slide it on the left side, and then you will just add your little thumb screw here. And that'll make it a lefty or a righty for you. I'll just leave it on the left side for now so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But now that it's here, guys, here's your rod, and then you would reel in like this. I don't prefer that. For me, I reel in with the right hand, and I cast with my right hand too, so it's awkward as heck. A lot of people are like, what in the world are you doing? But what I do is I hold my rod in my right hand when I'm gonna cast it, and I cast it, and then basically I will, you know, cast my rod out, and then I'll flop or switch it over to my left hand and hold my rod with my left hand at that point. Then I will reel and do all the action with my right hand. That is just what I prefer. Personal preference. But for the love of God, do not hold it like this. Do not be facing your reel like this. Please do not do that. But you do want to tighten your thumb screw here. You don't want your handle to become loose in the middle of fighting a freaking giant. That's how I have mine. And the only other thing I do is I will spray down my reel a little bit. Clean it off here. It's got a little bit of oil there. You want to clean down the bottom side. There's some springs on here, so just be careful not to mess up the springs. Just do a little bit of that, and then I will add a little bit of oil on top of this and just kind of rub it around there. This will then sit back down on the reel itself like that. We're almost back together, guys. And then some of yours will just be like a regular screw. In this case, this one is got a little gasket. I usually take it off, and then I will wipe down the gasket and the whole drag screw here, guys. You can add a little bit of oil on here if you'd like. I don't do it often, and then you can wipe that down if it's too nasty too. In this case, this reel is not that bad. And then, only other thing you do, put it back on your thing, tighten it all the way down. That will set your drag, and then you can loosen it and set it to your liking at that point. Anyways, guys, that is the reel put back together. Work it nice and neat, nice and smooth. All right, guys, and that completes the full breakdown of the spinning reel. I call that a full breakdown because I never really ever undo it from the bottom side to get up into the gears. I never really grease the gears, honestly, unless, like I said, it starts making like a grinding noise in there. That is when I'll take a look at it, because every reel will be different. Most of them just have those 3 screws right here. You can pop this whole side plate off, and then you can clean the grease off of the old grease off, and then you can attach some of this. But I would recommend, if you're going to remove that for that purpose, take a picture of what your gears look like in there, so that when you put them back in, you put them back in exactly the same way you took them out. Just so you know, that's a suggestion for you. But you could use just grease to grease those gears up in there. I personally don't do it. I mainly just wipe down the whole stuff. I will lubricate the bearing in here inside of the roller. I'll lubricate this point here, this point here. I'll add some oil up in here as well on the spinning spool here. And then I will grease the stem on the inside of this handle. And then obviously when the spool is off, I will grease the bottom side of this here, of the drag knob. And then I will also add some oil to the actual stem of the reel itself. You can actually hear my drag. But basically that's all I do, and wipe down everything really good, get up in all the crevices and things like that. And remember, hold your reel on the bottom side whenever you're reeling it in. Please do not have it facing up towards you. Trust me. But anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching this video. Give it a thumbs up, share it. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. And I know this is a basic video for a lot of people, but I'm just trying to help a lot of people that are kind of new into fishing or just getting their foot in the door in fishing. So like I said, I will also link a couple of reels that are great to start with, especially spinning reels. These are way more affordable than bait casters, and they're easier to pick up and kind of learn on. Next video is going to be on how to properly use one of these guys. And yeah, pretty much it, guys. Anyways, thank you guys for watching again. See y'all on the next time, and hopefully you guys catch your PB.